Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Gunadhanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् स वै पुंसां परो धर्मो यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे अहैतुकी अप्रतिहता ययात्मा सुप्रसीदति वासुदेवे भगवती भक्तियोगा प्रयोजितः जनयत्यास्य वैराग्यं ज्ञानं च यदहैतुकम् शुश्रूषो श्रद्धदानस्य वासुदेवा कथारुचि च्यान्महत्सेवया विप्र पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवनात् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतां नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तदा रजस्तमो भावा कामलोभादयश्चेत् चेतयेतेरनाविद्धं सितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो पङ्कजनाभाय नमो पङ्कजमालिने नमो पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये um, First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I wish you all a wonderful new year. I hope this new year will be filled with lots of anticipation of Lord Krishna entering into our ISKCON Nepalli temple. Um, this is very relevant to our chapter that we are reading today. So it's Canto number 1, chapter 11, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwaraka, text number 10. Uh, कथं वयं नाथ चिरोसिते त्वयि प्रसन्नदृष्ट्याखिलतापशोषनं जीवेम ते सुन्दरहासशोभितम् अपश्यमानावदनं मनोहरम् इति चोदीरिता वाचा प्रजानां भक्तवत्सलः शृण्वानो अनुग्रहं दृष्ट्या वितन्वन् प्राविशत् पुरम् word to word meanings katham how vayam we natha o lord chiroshite being abroad almost always twayi by you prasanna satisfaction drishtya by the glance akhila universe tapa miseries soshanam vanquishing jivema shall be able to live te your sundara beautiful hasa smiling shobhitam decorated apasyamanaha without seeing vadanam face manoharam attractive iti thus cha and udiritaha speaking vachaha words prajanam of the citizens bhaktavatsalaha kind to the devotees shrinvanaha thus learning anugraham kindness drishtya by glances within one distributing pravishat entered puram dwarakapuri. Translation: O master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwaraka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. Purport by His Divine Grace HG Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Krishna's attraction is so powerful that once being attracted by him, one cannot tolerate separation from him. Why is this so? Because we are all eternally related with him, as the sun rays are eternally related with the sun disk. The sun rays are molecular parts of the solar radiation. Thus, the sun rays and the sun cannot be separated. The separation by the cloud is temporary and artificial, and as soon as the cloud is cleared, the sun rays again display their natural effulgence in the presence of the sun. Similarly, the living entities, who are molecular parts of the whole spirit, are separated from the Lord by the artificial covering of Maya, illusory energy. This illusory energy or the curtain of Maya has to be removed, and when it is done, the living entity can see the Lord face to face, and all his miseries are at once removed. Even every one of us wants to remove the miseries of life, but we do not know how to do it. The solution is given here, and it rests upon us to assimilate it or not. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. I pray to my Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and the whole parampara and the assembled devotees here and the assembled devotees online to please give me the strength from your faith so that I can increase my faith and do some justice or speak something that is useful for me and everybody else. So we have seen all the great devotees who were speaking until yesterday and starting tomorrow also about how the Dwarka Vasis were receiving Lord Krishna, how he was entering the whole entourage, um, the blowing of the conch shell. I'm sure the recap is already done. I don't want to repeat the same. Um, but it's never the same when we glorify the Lord. We want to glorify the Lord again and again because there is so much pleasure in it. We want to experience that pleasure by glorifying with our own words and things like that. So the citizens welcomed the Lord with their little offerings, and these offerings were compared to the offering of a lamp to the sun god. So everything that is illuminating, that is coming from sun. And the comparison is given so many times. Srila Prabhupada compared with sun in this whole chapter until at least until this verse. So many times sun disk, sun god versus the light offering to the god. Um, you know, sun is like the light, and ignorance is Maya. And when we are covered by Maya, we cannot see the sun. And sun is covered by the cloud, and when there is cloud, we cannot see. The sunlight cannot come through, right? But it does not affect the sun because the cloud is between me and the sun, right? Between us and the sun. It's not a mark on the sun. So it's also, so there are so many I know I'm rushing, but I will try to slow down a little bit. It's been a while, so so in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is explaining, right? Lord Krishna's attraction is so powerful that once being attracted by him, one cannot tolerate the separation from him. How do we understand it? I mean, many of us are attracted and many of us are not attracted. Everybody is going through their own school of this process, right? The cleansing process is going, we are all going through the cleansing process, trying to clear off those hurdles or miseries or um, all kinds of blockers between us and God and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, especially Sri Krishna. So so once attracted by him, one cannot tolerate the separation from him, you know. When we I want to remind every all of us that even for myself, I'm trying to remember every time Radha Shamsundar comes on the altar, you know, the mood, the whole environment, the mood changes. When he's coming, there is so much anticipation, so much preparation, you know. The waiting of, you know, the we want to let the curtains open and see the Lord, right? We have so much this and this excitement or anticipation. We are waiting to see. And the same way, the heaviness of when they are leaving, when they are going back into the, you know, resting. So it's just so hard. Imagine the Lord is no longer on this planet, right? He went back to spiritual world already. But at the same, when he went back to spiritual world, of course the Bhagavatam at the same time came as brilliant as the sun. It came with the dharma and jnana and everything. So Bhagavatam is the only other representation of the Lord other than the deities, right? That is how we can associate with the Lord. But what I'm saying, when why I'm saying this is because for Dwarkavasis it is different. Dwa- Krishna is directly present with them. He was ruling Dwaraka as a king, and Dwarka was Vasis are all like his citizens, right? And he is the father. He is the father for the whole kingdom, and they missed him so much when he's away for the Kurukshetra war. Every time he's away, they feel like every moment is like a yuga for them. Like, so they are not able to bear the separation. Um, so this is Dwarka versus feelings of separation. In the upcoming chapters, what we will see is the comparison between the separation from Earth also. So Mother Earth also feels a separation. See, the difference here is why I'm mentioning is that we also feel separation from the Lord, right? When we are away from services, away from the temple. You know, during the lockdown, I know many of us are not able to you know, go see the Lord in person. We wait for that picture to come in the WhatsApp group, right? We want to see the decorations, we want to see the Lord's face, you know, the smiling face, his glances, and Srimati Radharani's beautiful Radharani. You know, the stand, we want to see them stand together and, you know, give us that darshan, wonderful beautiful darshan. That anticipation is there. So here Dwarkavasis are personally, you know, living with the Lord in his under his control, under his kingdom, under his ruling. So they miss him so much, and when they are offering these little things, the offerings are like a lamp to a sun god. So because everything is coming from Krishna, right? Everything, the when in the second canto we will learn about the creation, how this Virat Rupa expands, and then from the hands and the demigods are coming, and there are so many heads, so many tongues, so many mouths, so many legs, and so this whole universe is created by him. That means nothing that we are offering to him is our property, right? We are taking his own property and offering to him, right? um, so it's compared to that. Even though it's like that, but Lord will never say no, because when there is a devotion in your heart, when there is love in our heart, and we offer any little thing, a leaf or just a glass of water, right? He will accept it with love, because that is the mood, right? The devotion is what he sees. He does not see what you are giving, he will see with what kind of devotional mood you are offering it to him. Is he expecting it from you? No, right? Does he want it from you? No. Does he is he like he cannot live without your offer? No, right? He's not expecting. He's because he's detached. Even though he created this whole material universe, none of the three modes affect him. They cannot touch him, right? He's so pure, and he's detached. He's not expecting anything from us. In fact, he created this material universe for our, because of our contamination, our desires to lord it, right? We want to enjoy without the Lord. We are here because we wanted to enjoy without the Lord, and that's why we are here. We are trying, but we are unsuccessful because without the Lord there is no enjoyment, and we are suffering. So Srila Prabhupada in this verse, he's saying that uh, the separation by the cloud is temporary and artificial, and as soon as the cloud is cleared, the sun's rays again display their natural effulgence in the presence of the sun. So we are compared to the sun's rays, and Lord Krishna is compared to sun. So even though when the cloud comes, right, it looks like there is all this blueness or this darkness, or um, the sun's rays not falling into the, from the window through the living room, whatever that is, right? We will The cloud has blocked it. This cloud is compared to as the material maya, the illusion that we are in right now, that is related with the body, right? We are trying to compare everything with the bodily mindset, because I am Bhakti Priya Devidasi, or I am Surekha, or I am somebody's mother, I am somebody's wife, or I am somebody's daughter, you know. So we are comparing, we are relating to everything else around us with this bodily identification, which is the illusion. And our illusion, especially here, is that without the sun. So because cloud is blocking, we cannot see the sun. We think sun is not there, but sun is always there, and this cloud is only temporary. So what I'm telling to myself is that this phase that we are separated from the Lord is temporary, and the hope that I have is that if we can work towards following our previous acharyas, what they gave, the instructions they gave, their example, their prayers that they have given to us, if we just simply repeat those, and try to cleanse, right? Try to cleanse and assimilate according to the previous acharya's instructions, according to our Guru Maharaj's instructions, according to our mentors' guidance, proper guidance, and associating with the proper, devotees. And if we do all this, right, all the miseries at once will be removed. Just like when the cloud is removed, immediately the sunlight falls, right? You see that there is, so much clear, the environment is so much clear, and the cleansing is happening. And as soon as the cloud is removed, you can see the sun. Just like that, Srila Prabhupada mentions like 3 times in this whole 10 verses, the past 10 verses, that to see the Lord face to face. So many of us are thinking, I'm not qualified, I cannot see, I'm not qualified to do this, that, and that's so much. So we give so many excuses, comparing ourselves with great devotees. I'm not saying we should not. I'm saying, yes, we should not be comparing ourselves with great devotees, acharyas, and all that greatness. But Srila Prabhupada is saying that this door is open for everybody. Anybody, if following proper process, if they can help themselves eliminate that miseries, right, or the material illusion like the cloud, if they can help themselves take the cloud away from the view, right, then you can see the face Lord to Lord, I mean face to face the Lord. uh, so so that is the solution given here, in many of these verses also. Every verse at the end of the verse, if you look at it, at the end of each and every purport, right, Srila Prabhupada is saying the verse before, right, the purport before, as we cannot see anything in the absence of the sun, so also we cannot see anything, including our own self, without the factual presence of the Lord. So when we are separated from the Lord, we have this, false identification. I am Bhakti Priya, or I am Surekha, or somebody, right? This false identification is what we have to eliminate. Unless we get out of this birth and death cycle, right, we cannot be happy. We cannot be happy, and we cannot see the Lord, or we cannot enter the spiritual kingdom with so many faults in our heart, or so many anarthas, still hanging around, the baggage that we carry from so many lifetimes, right? If we don't get rid of that baggage, right, we cannot enter into the kingdom of God. So In the translation in this current text and purport, text number 10, right, he's saying that upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwaraka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. This glance is like very, very powerful. This glance is, it might look simple from Krishna's point of view, but from our point of view, it is huge. This glance is so powerful. There are so many references of the glance in the spiritual history. Um, I would like to open up the floor so people can share their remembrance of this glance. When was this glance exhibited in the past on many times. So can anyone share? So this is one place where through his glance he satisfied everybody, right? He's acknowledged all their greetings, and and he showed his kindness to all the citizens. So anybody want to share another pastime where he used his glance in such a way?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. The remembrance which I get is not directly of any particular pastime of Krishna, but the glance of Lord Vishnu on the material nature, which impregnated all the living entities into the material nature. That glance itself is so powerful, as you said.
Yes.
That is one thing which I got in my mind, Mataji.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Mahatattva. Right, when he glances at the Mahatattva, the whole material creation starts. The Karanataka Sai Vishnu glances, right? The 3/4 is the spiritual world and 1/4 is the material world. And the universe begins with his glance. Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the sharing. Anyone else want to share another pastime?
Hare Krishna, Bhakti Priya, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna Mataji, bless me.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories.
I am reminded of Krishna going out of Vrindavana for cow herding, and the gopis are waiting to see him, and he glances at them, and their hearts are stolen. They feel separation from him until he comes back. They are like, so that is my example. Thank you.
Amazing, Mataji. That's so elevated. Thank you so much for sharing that one. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Mataji, recently I was hearing to Ramapada Swami Maharaj's lectures, and in one of them, he clearly mentions when, in Vamana Avatar, when he's, going to Bali Maharaj, Bali Maharaj's daughter or sister, depending on the version of the story, he glances upon her when she is like looking at him with such fondling love, like motherly love. He glances at her and he grants her wish that she can be a mother to him one day. Yeah, in the Putana Leela, I think that is where it was being mentioned.
Yeah, she desires to have him as a child, and she feels the desire in her heart, and Vamanadev hears it in his, by his potency, and he just glances and satisfies, like acknowledges, right? Yes, I heard your prayer and I will give you this benediction. So, yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the sharing. Amazing, amazing sharing. Anybody else want to share another pastime where his glance is so powerful?
Mataji, I have one more remembrance. That is
Prabhuji,
when
wait.
Varahadev. Yes, Mataji.
Others
Yeah,
also
please.
already
Yes.
spoken. I want to see if others want to participate or share from their version.
Sure, Mataji.
Like Maharaj said, you are a scholar, so if nobody speaks, then I'm sure I will come back to you again.
No, please go ahead, Mataji. Yes.
Anybody else want to share their
Yeah, this is Jayanth. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna Jayanth Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances also.
Yeah, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, mine is not from, I'm a fairly new devotee. So my experience is, just daily prayers, right? And when we are in a freed up mood or in a happy mood, so the way we look at, God's, photo in the house or altar, it just reflects back upon us. So that daily glance is what, and it doesn't happen every day at every prayer. So it's only when the mind is, free and tuned or happy. So what we see, what we get back, more like what we, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
So that's my
Personal experience.
Personal experience, and I have very limited spiritual knowledge. I mean, literally no spiritual knowledge compared to many of you here.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing your experience. Irrespective of whether a person is new or not, being a devotee, you're doing a great service. Just being a devotee, just put a tilak and look like you're a devotee, and that's enough. Sri Prabhupada says people will think about Krishna as soon as he looks at a devotee. So your experience, we all experienced when we are new devotees also, that conditional glance that we see, the glance is there it's there all the time from the Lord, but we see only conditionally because we don't have that mercy towards the Lord all the time. We only have like only one day I am merciful, I am not merciful, other day I'm angry, things like that. So just like the cloud, we see the cloud more, less sun, like that. So anybody else want to share? There is very important glance people are missing. I'm waiting for that actually.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Chandana. Please accept my humble obeisances. So, Mataji, the verse Anganiyasya Sakalendriya Pratimanti, the Lord's limbs, any limb can be used as any other. So his very merciful glance on the bhoga, the offerings that we make.
Yes, Mataji, that was wonderful. Wonderful explanation. Yeah, that was another one.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, we are almost reaching at 7:30 clock. So anyone else? One last. Okay, Shri Kishore Prabhu, your turn again.
I remember two of them, Mataji, actually.
Yes, Prabhuji.
One is, maybe these are not what you are looking for, but one is Varahadev when he comes out of the nostril of Brahma and he expands himself into the size of the universe. At that time, all the rishis are looking at him, and Varahadev gives a sidelong glance to them, reassuring that he came to protect them. Brahma also was bewildered to see such a huge form, but then Varahadev, with his glance, he reassures them. And one more is in Kunti Maharani prayers. She says, Tava Ikshitai, that all the prosperity in this world is just because of Krishna's glance over it. Yeah, these are two things which I remember, Mataji.
Wow, wonderful sharing. I like I like everybody's input today. Even I was not thinking about all of that, those glances. So it's really wonderful to hear from all the devotees. The most famous glance I remember was the Govardhan pastime. He was lifting the Govardhan hill for 7 days, 7 nights, and then he was standing underneath, and all the Vrajvasis were underneath, right? He was just feeding them, nourishing them just by his glances for 7 days, 7 continuous days and nights. It was amazing how a little 7-year-old or 6-year-old kid can do, right? Lifting with his left little finger, not even right little finger. So it's he is the God is God. We should not be comparing God with ourselves. First of all, God is there and we are here. We are very, very minute. They say each and every universe is compared to a one mustard seed in a bucket full of mustard seeds. So the whole 1/4 of the material universe or material creation is compared to a bucket full of mustard seeds, and the universe or we are living in is one of the mustard seed, right? If within the universe itself, the scientists cannot measure the extent of the end to end of that universe. There is nothing they cannot, they can try, and they give up their life at the end of the time, and end of the life, but they cannot prove that this universe is this much size. They cannot do it. So because his creation is inconceivable for us, his powers are inconceivable for us. Recently I have heard, why I'm emphasizing on this glance is, recently I've heard that somebody explained, go to a temple not to see the Lord. You should not be, your mood should not be go to seeing the Lord, but your mood should be in such a way that Lord, and your mood and service should be in such a way that Lord will see you. The Lord should, glance upon you. So that's how much we should strive and put so much effort, you know just initially, yes, maybe we have so many anarthas in our heart. We are not knowledgeable enough, we don't know anything, just in a neophyte, we are trying. Even Maharaj says, what to speak of ourselves, right? He uses that phrase a lot, what to speak of ourselves. Great, even Lord Brahma got bewildered by his powers, and by his potency. He says in second canto somewhere, he says, he is my creator. Lord Krishna is my creator, and I also do not understand. I create all this material universe as a secondary creator, right? But I also don't understand where is his source coming from, or my source, I don't understand my source. So how can we, what to speak of ourselves, right? We cannot understand. But what we can do is we can follow the acharyas. We can take association of this Srimad Bhagavatam. These books given by Srila Prabhupada are very, very potent, very Srila Prabhupada Maharaj was saying the other day, he was saying that Srila Prabhupada has given Krishna to us. That is so much mercy, right? Like the mercy they have. So a devotee, a pure devotee can only do that to another devotee, right? Because he carries bhakti in his heart. Srila Prabhupada is such a pure devotee, right? And Maharaj was mentioning how technology has improved so much, right? In the past, imagine when there is technology, when Srila Vyasadeva is writing or compiling Srimad Bhagavatam. We imagine if we can see that, right? We cannot. Unfortunately, technology was not advanced at that time. We cannot see, the technology was not advanced at the time when Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is preaching to Srila Rupa Goswami, right, about Srimad Bhagavatam. So imagine if we can see those things, right? But we are so fortunate that these amazing moments of Srila Prabhupada coaching his disciples from A to Z, right? Everything from A to Z in Krishna consciousness. He has coached everybody, and most of it is already recorded. Luckily, we have all the videos, and most of the videos, most of the audio. We have so much that's coming from Srila Prabhupada, and these books, right? These books are printing every year, and our book distribution teams are going in like marathons, and they are doing so many marathons trying to give Krishna to everybody. So even though we are not qualified, we can just be a part of that process. We can just support by distributing books, by we are doing our little part, right? It will be so there are many messages, that we can assimilate, or we can take from Srila Prabhupada's literature. So today's message was, you know, um, for me, was to do your service in such a way that Krishna will glance upon you. Or that is one message. And another message I take away from this is, um, try to do our your best, so that the we can at least able to see Lord face to face. We should be, our goal should be there, so that we can maybe at least reach some, to some extent. um, so with that, I will conclude today. It was a wonderful opportunity to see all of you again. Thank you for your participation, and please give me your feedback, or anybody want to share any um, experiences or realizations, or if there is any questions, if I can answer, please bring it now. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Can I go one more time?
Sure, Mataji, go ahead.
Okay, there are two things I wanted to, and that is this other instance of Krishna's glance is also Maharaj Ropas Maharaj, when his lectures, he always remembers Lord Rama's glance at the ocean, because he fasted in the shore of the ocean and wants to have passage to Lanka, but then the ocean is not responding. Then he got angry, and he was going to, he was casting his glance in anger, and the ocean was about to boil. And then Varunadeva appears. Oh, no, Lord, please. And then that is one, and imagine boiling the ocean, the anger in the Lord's glance. Then the other thing was a comment I wanted to make. I mean, when you remembered, sorry, excuse me, remembered our preparations when Radha Shyamasundar is coming on the altar, and how it transforms the environment, and how, in a hush way in the morning, by the time Sringara Arti time, everybody is, doing those services, and it reminded me of, this Krishna's entrance into Dwarka, and you could connect with that. That's very wonderful, Mataji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. That is really a very amazing difference when we go there for Sringara Darshan. Lord Radha Shyamsundar is on the altar.
Yes, Mataji.
Our purpose. Thank you so much.
There's a moment of the day, right? Waiting for that moment when the curtains will open, and
yes,
it's like, we cannot say how much. Only experience we feel in the heart. That's all. We cannot say with words how we feel.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Sacisuta Das. When Sandhya Mataji brought about Ramayana, it remembers me. The first interaction between Rama and Sita happened with a glance. When Vishwamitra Muni was taking them on the streets, they before the Swayambara, they had the glance, and that was powerful, and that was very if you read in Ramayana, especially in Kamba Ramayana, it goes on chapters about those glances. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Ravi, for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
Mataji, you're on mute.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I was asking Govinda Mohini Mataji. Please, if you have anything you want to share, I'm going to start calling names now.
Oh, no, thank you, Mataji. This contemplation on this glance is actually very churning, in a sense that we don't even stop and ever think about it. And my thoughts were going, like, as all of you are sharing this, like you're waiting to see the Lord. And I was just thinking that I mean, I go to take darshan, but I was just thinking why I don't have that enthusiasm or that eagerness as all you were sharing. So that's where my thoughts were going. But it's a really nice contemplation that you brought up. So thank you for that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing, Mataji. Shri Jalila Mataji, you want to share anything? Okay, maybe Mataji is not in a place. Amrita Kele Mataji, you want to share anything?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji. It's really nice contemplation as Govinda Mohini Mataji was sharing. That was really nice. And the whole class, I felt it's really coming from your heart. It's very touching when you mentioned in the end about following the acharyas, though feeling unqualified. Sometimes when we hear this, there is this feeling that, oh, they're so elevated, so it's not really for me. I kind of go in that mode. Thank you for emphasizing that point again. Whatever little opportunity we have, we can practice there. We can engage ourselves in whatever capacity we have. Main important, as you brought up, following the acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing. Megha Mataji, you want to share anything?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Gauranga. I think I want to second what Amrita Keli Mataji said as well, that your enthusiasm about this grand subject, it really brings out, I can feel your enthusiasm and your actual bhakti in that. So it completely came from the heart, and I can feel that. And, when you said how we're all awaiting when Radha Shyam Sundar is coming out, and how you connected those two glances, it was very beautiful, because I can connect that way too, and I never thought about it that way. Another glance part I also just thought about is when Radharani was, she did not open her eyes until the first time Krishna came and he glanced at her. That's when she was she opened her eyes first.
Wow.
So that was also something that I thought about.
Yes,
and
Mataji.
that's all. Yeah.
It was a wonderful pastime, right? She is born to look at him. She's just born to look at him. She's nothing, she doesn't have anything to do with anything else. Just for Krishna, she appeared, and she's opened her eyes. Her eyes, she just want to look at him. It was amazing, right? How much somebody's devotion can be that much. It's just so hard to imagine, right?
Yeah.
Everything around, we will look at other faults, other devotees' faults, why they are praying this way, why, all kinds of nonsense comes into our mind. But these pastimes are so amazing. I didn't even expect, so I was like surprised to how this session is going today. So I was waiting curiously what new thing comes up, from all of you. So
yeah, very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that.
Hare Krishna.
So I was looking at who else is available here. Vrajamohini Mataji, you want to share anything if you are in a position to speak? Maybe she's busy with the kids.
Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Sorry. Yeah, indeed, it's a wonderful explanation you gave, Mataji. Actually, I was not regular to these Bhagavatam classes, but today I feel I'm so fortunate to attend your class, and as personally I know you. Now the way you are sharing, those are really, you are an example, Mataji, and especially the glance part you brought up, and so many devotees shared such a wonderful pastimes of Lord about the glance. They were really nice, Mataji. As personally, I am not remembering any pastimes because I know very less. But when I hear the devotees sharings, those were really churning the concept of glance by the Supreme Lord. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the maybe how much you must be praying. Even people like me were able to hear to Bhagavatam, and I'm very thankful for that, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev Mataji and this Devotees Association. This Naperville community is really powerful. I've been in ISKCON Krishna consciousness for like more than 12 years now. But as soon as I came to Naperville community, that's when the things started happening in my life. So this congregation is so powerful, and please continue whatever, irrespective of whatever reversals come to you. Right? Do not give up. Just stay in the association. just be in that association and just surrender to the lotus feet of the devotees, and that's it. They will take the flow, the pravaha will take us back to Godhead, and that is my realization. So I think we can conclude here today. Thank you very much for all of your inputs, and I have learned so much from you today. There is so much to learn, I think, from my side. There is so many things that we learn, and this Bhagavatam is so full of surprises, so full of um, Krishna's pastimes. There is so much variety. There is so much satisfaction that comes out of when you read these, associate with these books. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, Lingaraj Prabhu. And I wish you all a wonderful, happy new year. And I hope we will all be glanced by the Lord Shyamasundar, Radha Shyamasundar, when he comes onto the altar. And I wish it happens this year. Thank you very much.